Just got back from Home Depot carrying the lumber. First I carried these two pieces with a towel on my shoulder, and then I carried these two with these guys on top, and then I would rest them against the sidewalk and take breaks if needed, and then that roughly took me like 1 hour. I set up the miter saw stand. We're just going to set up the miter saw soon on top of here and then use the extendable arms to hold the wood so it doesn't fall over. I set up the miter stand so that the board's nice and straight. There you go, straight along the front and the back. So it has a nice straight 45 cut so they can go right into each other. I measured the internal dimensions of the bed and made it 1/2 inch larger on each side. I've switched the saw to cut 45s, and I've cut the 45s on both my sides, my front, back, and my right and left side. Here's the dry fit. Now all I have to do is make the cross pieces, and then the sides on the front and the back to hold the bed up. I've penciled in with the 2x2s where I'm going to be cutting out on the bandsaw, and then I used a scrap of wood as a straight line. I cut to length, and then I end up using the table saw to get it to the 1.5 inches so it fits around and has a nice even trim. Cut 4 3.5 inch blocks so that I can mount the legs afterwards. They'll be just underneath the frame by, say, 1/8 of an inch. There it is, almost all finished. Just got to take 1 inch off these cross beams so that the mattress can sit down into the frame 1 inch. And then that should be it, and then I can screw it all together. I did all the wood from 60 to 100 to 180 grit. Now it is ready for assembly. Be 4 3/4 from the bottom, so over here, and then it's gonna have like 7/8 on the top for the mattress. I did the same for over here. The reason why I did 4 3/4 is because this guy is 4 3/4, or the supports that'll go in the middle of both these posts. I cut some triangles for the feet, which my dad just had lying around. I'm just going to have them just under the surface, like that. They're going to be screwed in. The reason why they're triangles is so they have more support, and you have more areas to screw holes into or screw screws into. And then I also cut these beams like 7/8 shorter, because then it equals 1 inch, and that's how far down the mattress will be sinking into the frame. On using a couple clamps to tighten up the corners. Now all I gotta do is put on the trim on the shorter ends, and then sand it all down, and it should be good to go. Clamping down the trim with some extra stock that I had that reaches the whole length, so then I can just screw it right into place. And here's the completed bed frame in my room. There's the little corners that I put on it, on top of the 45s to give it extra support. I butted the bed frame against the far backhand corner, and then as you can see here, the frame is 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch too large on each side, so if I was to take 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch off on each side, it probably fit the mattress a lot better. Another thing that I would improve would be to use a jointer and a planer to straighten out the boards, because these boards are not exactly straight on the sides. So just sanding them doesn't really accomplish that, but next time I would plane them and joint them to make them straight, and then I wouldn't have as many issues joining the corners. The total came to $42.09, including taxes in Canada.